a small African village nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, a girl named Adana was born with an unusually large forehead. From the day she was born, her unique feature drew the attention of the villagers. As she grew, the whispers turned into mockery, and the children as well as adults called her names. They jeered at her as she walked through the village, and even the elders, who were supposed to be wise and compassionate, joined in the taunting. "Big head Adana," they would chant, and the laughter would follow her wherever she went. Her mother, Izine, tried her best to comfort her, telling her that her forehead was a sign of great wisdom and potential. But the words did little to soothe the pain of constant ridicule. Despite the mockery, Adana grew up to be a kind and resilient young woman. She helped her mother with chores, cared for the younger children, and showed a quiet strength that belied her years. Her best friend Kelechi often stood up for her, but the cruelty of the villagers was relentless. One fateful year, the rain did not come. The fields dried up, the rivers shrunk to mere trickles, and the once fertile land turned to dust. The villagers' crops failed, and their livestock grew weak from thirst and hunger. Desperation set in as they faced the prospects of famine. The village elders decided to consult the gods. They performed rituals and sacrifices, seeking the guidance on how to end the drought. One night, the village chief Obina had a vision. The gods spoke to him, revealing that the only way to bring back rain to the land was to find the village rainmaker. The village rainmaker, the gods said, was a young woman between the ages of 20 and 25. She would be able to retrieve the sacred calabash of rain from the ancient river at the edge of the evil forest. The next morning, the entire village gathered at the square. Chief Obina shared the vision with them, and a murmur of excitement and fear spread through the crowd. The ancient river was a place of legend, said to be guarded by spirits and filled with dangerous creatures. Many who had ventured into the evil forest never returned. The elders began selecting young women who fit the description given by the gods. Adana, who was now 20 years old, stood silent at the edge of the crowd. She knew better than to hope that she would be chosen. Her forehead had always set her apart, and the villagers never missed an opportunity to remind her of her perceived shortcomings. When her name was not called, she felt a mixture of relief and disappointment. However, Kelechi, who was among the chosen, stepped forward and spoke to the elders. Adana should be given a chance, he said. She has a good heart and a strong spirit. Let her prove herself. The elders scoffed, but Chihobina, remembering the wisdom of the gods, decided to give Adana a chance. Very well, he said. Adana will join the others on this quest. May the gods guide you all. Adana, Kelechi, and the other young women set off early the next morning. The journey to the ancient river was long and perilous. They walked through dense forests, crossing treacherous streams, and braved the scorching sun. Along the way, Adana faced snares and doubts from her companions, who were convinced she would be the first to fail. As they approached the evil forest, a sense of foreboding settled over the group. The trees here were twisted and gnawed, their branches like skeletal hands reaching out to snatch them away. Strange noise echoed through the forest, and the air was thick with an eerie mist. Undeterred, Adana pressed on. She remembered her mother's words and drew strength from the hope of proving herself to the village. Kelechi stood close by her side, offering words of encouragement and support. After days of travel, they finally reached the ancient river. The river was wide and dark, its water swelling with an otherworldly energy. On the far bank stood a small shrine where the calabash of rain was said to be kept. The young women hesitated, unsure of how to cross the powerful current. Adana, however, felt a strange pull towards the river. She stepped forward and began to wade into the water. To everyone's amazement, the current parted before her, creating a clear path to the shrine. Guided by an unseen force, she walked to the shrine and found the calabash of rain, a beautifully carved vessel that shimmered with an inner light. As she touched the calabash, a surge of energy flowed through her. The spirits of the river appeared before her, their forms shimmering like water in the sunlight. "You have been chosen, Adana," they said. "Your heart is pure and your spirit is strong. You are the rainmaker." Adana returned to the village with a calabash of rain, her head swelling with pride and anticipation. As she entered the village square, the villagers gathered around her, their eyes wide with disbelief. The girl they had mocked for so long had succeeded where many had failed. Chifobina stepped forward, his voice filled with awe. "The gods have chosen our rainmaker," he proclaimed. "Adana, you have brought hope to our village." As the villagers watched, a miraculous transformation took place. The calabash of rain glowed brightly and a gentle rain began to fall, soaking the parched earth. Crops began to grow and rivers swelled with fresh, clean water. Adana herself was transformed. Her once large forehead became proportionate and her beauty shined through. When the drought ended, the land flourishing once more, Adana was celebrated as a village rainmaker. She was no longer the girl with the big forehead, but a symbol of hope and resilience. The villagers, filled with gratitude and respect, sought her guidance and wisdom. Adana embraced her new role, using her power to ensure the village prospered. She forgave those who had mocked her, understanding that their action stemmed from ignorance and fear. Her kindness and strength inspired others, and the villagers thrived under her care.